That's what I've been preaching. Like, this gonna be fight of the year type caliber fight. Because obviously I'm not coming in there scared. I ain't coming in there to lay down. I ain't coming in there on none of that. I'm coming in there to do what I gotta do to get my hand raised.
Lamont Roach is booming with the kind of confidence that has landed many like him on the canvas earlier than they could have imagined. It takes some guts to confront and fire shots at a boxer who has a record of 30-0, and it takes even more guts to trash talk one who has 28 knockouts in those 30 fights.
Next after this fight, like Tank over, win, lose, draw, whatever. Who you want next?
Look, if y'all don't know, even after I beat Tank.
That's what I've been preaching about, saying that this fight is going to be a fight of the year type of fight. Because obviously I'm not going in there scared. I'm not coming in there to lay down. I'm not coming in there on any of that. After this bout, who do you want to fight next? I'm going to go back down to Devon Tank, even after I defeated Tank. Do you know who you won? Davis's greatness is undeniable. Even though some boxing experts disagree with the way he picks his opponents and have harshly criticized his boxing legacy. However, that doesn't mean that a boxer like Lamont Roach should be trampled underfoot.
I'm the best 130-pounder in the world. It's evident. I can't wait to prove it. I can't wait to show it. But, you know.
Their press conference next week is expected to be chaotic, and their Instagram Live was only a preview of their fight week. Lamont Roach doesn't mind giving props to anyone, even an opponent who is coming up. Evidently, I am the best 130-pound athlete in the world, and I can't wait to prove it. However, you understand that Gervonta Davis is subjected to criticism, with some criticizing his resume.
In the world, when this is the beginning of my legendary run. This right here.
Now we've seen Ryan Garcia.
Others dismissing his skill set and some downplaying his role in the sport. Roach, however, doesn't think those criticisms have any merit because he grew up somewhat nearby Davis and knows him better than most. And I'm going to prove that I'm one of the best fighters in the world when this is the beginning of my legendary run. We've seen Ryan Garcia over the years, and Roach has nodded his head in approval as Davis became a multi-divisional champion, a pound-for-pound star, and, according to some, the face of boxing. Roach has no problem admitting that he is the face of boxing.
That, you know, because I've spoken to Rolly, their approach is, well, we're dehydrated, we had to go in there.
But while Davis is enjoying his time at the top, the current WBA super featherweight champion knows that all good things must end. I'm going to show y'all what it takes to be the new face of boxing come March 1st. Roach said during an episode of Against All Odds, The Reaper Tale Episode 1. Believe that because I've spoken to Rolly, their strategy is, well, we're dehydrated, so we had to go in there and do what we had.
Nah, then keep talking about some no disrespect. Come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Use a real fake for real. Like, use a...
Roach mentions that he and Davis will face off in the ring on March 1st at Brooklyn's Barclays Center. Roach has previously competed in the lightweight division, but his reputation as a fighter one weight class below the 5B difference. And Davis's tendency to put his opponents in the hospital has led odds makers to conclude that Roach has virtually lost. Then, without any disrespect, keep talking about some people. Come on, bro. You are a complete fake. However, having skeptics and doubters is beneficial. In order to avoid a similar fate, the amount of work that Pooch puts in will have to be at an all-time high. Over the years.
Every time you see me, it's what up, shawty. It's Desmond. You know how you talk. Because you talking about, bro. I'm really him. I bring any type of smoke to anything in my way. Because you talking.
Tank has been accused of handpicking his opponents. And Pooch remembers when the sports books predicted that he would lose to Hector Luis Garcia. But he proved them wrong against Davis. The 29-year-old knows what he's up against, usually crushing his opponents and showing no mercy against Frank Martin, who recently brutally stopped him in the 8th round this past June. Hating for you. Bro, what's wrong with you every time you see me? Do you know what you're talking about?
Add anything to it?
No, not necessarily. I think maybe for the outside. I think maybe it's for the outside. I think the fire is the competitiveness between us both already, that we competed twice before in 2 close fights in the amateurs, and that
I'm actually him. Cut it out, Measy, so that the Baltimore native knows that this fight won't be like his past fights, even though he is from a lower weight class. He wants this fight and will stop at nothing to shock the world. I bring smoke of any kind to anything that gets in my way, because you're talking about I am him, and that Roach wrote, you must think I'm one of those regular guys you fought or something. Once more choosing to keep his words to himself. Davis said he would speak in the ring. More, does that add anything to it? No, I don't think so. Or perhaps it's for the outside. I believe the fire is the rivalry between us already, as we fought twice and had 2 close fights in amateurs. You understand what I mean when I say that he quoted Reaper's tweet and wrote nothing to express his superiority over the World Boxing Association? Super Featherweight Champion. This online war has generated some excitement for the fight, which will weigh 135 pounds and feature the World Boxing Association lightweight title. When it comes to opponents for Tank Davis in a pay-per-view event, I would rather see someone who has delivered explosive performances at the highest level or at the very least has a divisive personality. Lamont Roach is a terrific fighter, technically sound and a championship-level fighter. Davis is a legitimate pay-per-view celebrity. He has been on pay-per-view for a while, but what has been missing is the right opposition required to charge those kinds of amounts, regardless of whether you think that so many of his fights should have been on pay-per-view, and I disagreed with the most of them. Roach is a good fighter.
Danny, I wanted to get your thoughts. I appreciate you coming out. I wanted to get your thoughts, Danny, on the Tank Roach thing. So just your thoughts on the fight in general. What do you think about the fight?
But he hasn't made it to the pinnacle, and I don't think he has the character to make up for that. He has had success at super featherweight, but it has taken him a while to do so. If he had defended many titles, a fight between him and Davis might have made more sense, but he has already done so against Firo MCC. We've seen Davis in fights like this before, like against Hector Luis Garcia.
Calm down, calm down, brother.
Come to the fight. Come to the fight.
They probably gonna get you fucked up. Look, fool. Hey, fool. It's me and you.
Who has only lost to Roach via split decision since Davis stopped him. However, that has become the pay-per-view model, and once a fighter has that status, he stays on pay-per-view regardless of his opponent. Danny, thank you so much, KL. I was just curious about your viewpoints. In regards to the Tank Roach incident, Danny, what are your general impressions of the fight? Martin, Frank, the meticulous selection of his opponents is frustrating because Davis's previous opponent is also a good fighter and, unlike Roach, who is well established at lightweight, he was on track to face Shakur Stevenson. And had put on some strong performances that created interest in him at the highest level. The fact that Davis is such a strong lightweight and that Roach, who is regarded highly by those who know him, isn't the biggest of super featherweights, where he still seems capable of defending his World Boxing Association title, are also relevant. In the lead up to his fight, Davis is largely silent until he becomes enraged, which makes him extremely messy and insulting, as we saw against Frank Martin when he threatened his victim that he was going to get his girlfriend and snatch her from. I like to show people that they aren't who they say they are. I like to prove it to the people they come with. When I won the title for the first time, the entire building doubted me. Before the fight hype, I sat down with Richardson Hitchens and Kenneth Sims Jr. to find out their opinions on the fight, and their responses might surprise you. Lamont Roach has now enjoyed a little of the Tank Davis drama after claiming,
years ago, I want to say like 2016, 2017 years ago. I think it's a great fight, because this guy Lamont Roach,
he would whoop Davis's butt. Just yesterday, Devon Davis promised him, I'm going to chop, chop, chop Bob, and I'm going to end it in the 9th round. The undefeated super lightweight Hitchens was questioned by Fight Hype about his relationship with the two fighters and what fans should anticipate from their bout. The New Yorker discussed the parallels between Tank and Roach and cautioned the fans not to take the latter lightly. Hitchens was certain that everyone would be amazed by the 25-1 boxer and that the bout would be fantastic. Not many years ago, I want to add that this battle, which took place in 2016 or 2017 years ago, is fantastic because, well,
he came up in that same type of like environment as Tank. They both are DMV fighters. They both got.
This man named Lamont Roach grew up in a similar setting to Tank, so they have a lot in common. Lamont has demonstrated constancy over the years, but I believe that many individuals are taking advantage of him because of his defeat to M. Herring. When discussing how Roach has improved his career since losing to Herring in 2019, the 180-pound fighter said that he was looking forward to the fight and that it would be a technical feat when asked who would win a technical fight. Richardson Hitchens said that it would be a great technical fight because Tank is
kind of like a lot of similarities. They both box each other numerous times. And I think that a lot of people riding Lamont off because of his one loss with Jamal Herring.
Offensive genius who knows how to protect himself and how to maneuver. He grew up in a similar setting to Tank. As you may know, they are both DMV fighters and, in a sense, they both attended school. He went on to say that if the fight drags into later rounds, Tank will have a distinct advantage due to his nearly flawless defense. According to Hitchens, Pooch should aim to end the fight early because there is a good chance Davis will drag it to his pace in order to achieve the intended outcome.
Definitely a fight that, like a great fight for boxing. I think that boxing fans are trying to, like, basically shut Lamont out. I don't know, maybe because he's not a big name.
While defending Pooch as a strong opponent for Devin, it's not like Tank is just picking out a bum, Davis Hitchens remarked. Lamont most likely has more fighting skills than many men who have Tank battled. There are a lot of similarities between them. They have boxed each other many times, and I believe that many people are dismissing Lamont because of his one defeat to, say, Jamal Herron. On the other hand, welterweight sensation Kenneth Sims Jr., who has faced both Roach and Davis, also expressed his opinions about the fight and what these fighters need to do to win it. At first, the boss man refrained from attempting to predict the bout.
I'm looking forward to watching the fight.
Do you think the fact that it is going to be a technical fight, do you think that favors Lamont or does it favor Tank?
Because he was friendly with both of them. Sims thought it would be a little impolite, but he eventually caved in and talked about how he and Roach had some nice times together when they played each other in the semifinals of their nationals. When asked what both of them need to do to win the fight, the Illinois resident mentioned that both of them are counterpunchers and that one of them must step outside of their comfort zone to get the other one to open. He also touched on the fact that Gervonta Davis is a slow starter and it takes him some time to get into the groove. Tank starts slowly, but as the fight progresses, he will pick it up and then he gets busy, said Kenneth Sims Jr. However,
in the face of boxing, we weren't able to make the grand arrivals yesterday. I know sometimes, like Canelo, I'm sure he doesn't want to go to the arrivals, doesn't want to talk to us and all our questions, but is that